Hi, so this is a tutorial of how to make your own animation character on Animate Studio. Right now I'm going to be using Animate Studio Pro 6, but you can use about pretty much any version of Animate Studio, whether Debut or Pro. Alright, so we'll start here by just creating a new file, and I like to have the basic colors and everything instead of the default. That's just me. Alright, so first things first, with your blank document, you're going to want to start by drawing a body part. I like to start with the head. So let's get a circle going. More like an oval. Skin color. Then get the hair on. Now I'm just going to do a very basic character to just get you, so you know, have an idea of what to do. You can definitely go way more detailed than I'm going to go. Alright, so I'm going to want sharp corners. Alright, and now you're going to want to do a different body part for each layer, or a different layer for each body part. Alright, so first, let's just name this one head. Alright, now we're gonna make torso. Next step, we're going to add a new layer, but instead of the regular layer, we're going to add a bone layer. Right, so I'll just call this, I don't know, it kind of looks like a hair, so I'll call him hair. Alright, so did I duplicate the leg correctly? I don't think I moved the leg off the side. Yeah, sorry. Alright, now we're going to put all these layers we just created into the bone layer. Now, one important thing is ordering. I already know how to order it, so I guess you can kind of find out how to now. Otherwise, you're going to have to just find out for yourself when you add the bones. So I know I'm going to want the legs at the bottom. It doesn't matter if the left leg's at the bottom or the right leg. I'm going to want the torso there, right arm, left. I think I want one of them in front of the head. Alright, so now we're going to actually add the bones. Alright, so there's our person, right? So now we're going to click on this bone layer. No, and one more thing. Yes, I haven't added the mouth yet. You'll see why we do that later. But it just makes it a lot easier. Alright, so now the first bone you want to add is on the spine. You just simply add it by going to the Add Bone tool. Alright. Now the next bone we'll add to the head. Alright, now we go back down and see how the head is selected. That means if I were to add another bone, whenever I manipulate the head bone, say I put the bone after the bone on the head on the arm, then whenever I move the head, the arm will move, so I don't want that. So I'm going to select the spine bone. Now click Add Bone, and I'm just going to put it on the arm. Now this is a fairly simple guy, so he's fine with just one. If you want to get more complex, you can do it with like an elbow and stuff and have more than one, but for this case, you just need one. Alright, so now I'm going to select that spine bone and put another one on. Alright, and then we select spine bone. And on the legs, I am actually going to put two bones for like the kneecap and such. And so we go to this bone strength tool, and see these little blue, and in that case red, transparent ovals around the bones? That's the strength of the bone. So we're going to want to drag it down until it's only inside its own drawing. So just do that with each one. And this just takes a few seconds. Now we're going to go to this tool called the Offset Bone tool, and we're just going to put our guys together. So now I know I'm going to want that arm underneath the torso layer. I'm going to possibly both underneath. Alright, see this here? I'm getting air interference possibly from the head itself. But that's a bone strength there. Alright. Yeah, see, now it's a lot better. And just put it together. And there, we just got a little simple character. I mean, it isn't the best, but you know, I'm gonna put that much effort into it. Alright, so now, like I said, we're gonna do the mouth layer last. So we're gonna put it above everything in the bone layer, but inside the bone layer. So do a new layer and make this one a switch. I'm just gonna call it a mouth. And the switch layer is like a folder, but instead of showing everything inside of it, like this bone layer does, it shows all those layers. It's only gonna show one layer at a time. And you'll see why that's important later. Alright, so now we're just going to do a new vector, put it inside this mouth switch layer, and this first one, I'm just going to do a very simple mouth. This first one, I'm going to make like a closed mouth. There we go, and I'll call it closed. Now we can duplicate, and we're just going to make like an O mouth. Alright, and then I'll call it O, and then we can duplicate it again and just make it like a bit wider. Maybe give it some teeth. And then I'm going to stop right here, but you can do a lot more. On my animation specifically, I use 4 layers, but you can use like however you want. I mean, I wouldn't go too high because then it would just look weird, and some of them would never be used, but you know, there's the point. So now you have a mouth. Now this important part, to get the mouth like the bones, you're going to want to be on the mouth layer, not the bone layer, the mouth switch layer, and make sure it's the folder, not one of the ones inside. And we're going to just add a bone. It doesn't have to be specific, just put it like right there. And then we're going to click this thing called a bind layer tool, and we're going to shift click on this bone on the head, and now whenever the bone on the head moves, the mouth moves with it. So these bones are always going to be that far apart from each other. So, you know, watch. When I go to either my offset or my manipulate bones tool, see, the mouth is there, put together. Alright, another thing you can do is you see how the head's kind of like changing shapes in a way when I rotate his head. You can double click on the bone layer, go to bones and go to region binding, and now, see, it just stays parallel. But I don't know. I like the flexible binding a bit more, and that to look more sort of 3D-ish. You see how his eyes kind of move. Alright, so there's your character, and now we're just going to test the mouthing. So we'll just go to like new audio, and I'm just going to use one from this tutorial because they give you a couple of audio files to test around with. So I'll just use this stuff. And now we double click on the mouth layer and go to the tab that says switch. And then let's just go down to Vista. Okay. And now when we play our animation.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Now there you go. And that's how you make an animation character. Alright, and to animate your guy, just click on the manipulate bones tool and just play around with them. And you'll notice if you need to change anything, back inside your bone folder, you can just like reorganize it. Say I want the arm is under the torso or whatnot. Just put it there, and there you go. So, like that looks better. And there you go.